My name is Todd Raspberry, and I serve as the Vice President for Philanthropy and External Relations here at West Texas A&M University. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this gathering after some 14 months of social distancing on our campuses. And it sure is nice to be together without masks. So thank you for being here today. Today's events, again, represent the power and importance of the Texas A&M University system. The partnership and collaboration between Texas A&M University and West Texas A&M University as system members through teaching, research, outreach, and service programs represented by these two facilities benefits not only these two universities, but students, faculty, the Panhandle region, the state of Texas, and from here, the world. It's fitting that we highlight the vision of many people and celebrate today the opening of the Charles W. Graham 1953 DVM, the Texas A&M University System Center, represented by these two Texas A&M University buildings on the campus of West Texas A&M University. The reputation of the Texas A&M University system is known across the globe and second to no other university system. Today's grand opening is a testimony to the system's land grant mission. The Texas A&M University Veterinary Education Research and Outreach, VERO, will be the epicenter for academic excellence in educating pre-veterinary students enrolled at WT and veterinary students from Texas A&M. The Texas A&M Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory, TVMDL, houses one of the nation's foremost veterinary diagnostic laboratories. Moving the TVMDL facility to the campus of WT after some 4 decades of serving the region at their laboratory in Amarillo, and placing it next to VERO and the WT facilities along Russell Long Boulevard creates a synergy for the future of education on the WT campus. These facilities and the epicenter created come close to living up to the namesake, Dr. Charles Doc Graham. I would like to recognize some of the guests who are this morning and introduce them. Please hold your applause until I finish introducing them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, United States Congressman representing the Texas Congressional District 13, and a proud 1991 Texas A&M University alumnus and a physician to 3 U.S. presidents. Mr. John Cyrier, Texas State Representative for District 17 and a 1995 Texas A&M University graduate. Dr. Glenn Rogers, Texas State Representative for District 60 and a 1978 Texas A&M University graduate, a 1980 Texas A&M University College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences graduate, and a 2020 Texas A&M University College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences outstanding alumnus. Dr. Lynn Stuckey, Texas State Representative for District 64. And if he hadn't lived in Kansas, he would also be a proud A&M alum, I'm sure. Mr. John Smithy, Texas House member representing District 86 and a proud West Texas A&M University alumnus. With us today is also Mr. Joel Riddell, who is the Regional Director for West Texas, representing Senator John Cornyn's office. And also with us today is the Canyon Mayor, Mr. Gary Henders. Members of the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents, Mr. Randy Brooks, Mr. Bill Mahomes, and Mr. Michael J. Plank. Also with us today is Dr. Mark Wycold, who is the interim vice president and provost of Texas A&M University. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least mention the numerous administrators, faculty, staff, and student representatives from the Texas A&M University system, Texas A&M University, and West Texas A&M University. Join me, if you will, in welcoming them. Now it's my privilege to introduce those from whom you will be hearing this morning in the order that they will be speaking. And again, I ask you to please hold your applause until they've all been introduced. Mr. John Sharp, the 14th Chancellor of the Texas A&M University System. Dr. Walter V. Wendler, 11th President of West Texas A&M University. Dr. Charles Doc Graham, Texas A&M Distinguished Alumnus, renowned equine veterinarian and center namesake. Dr. John August, Dean of the Texas A&M University College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. Dr. Patrick Stover, Vice Chancellor for the Texas A&M AgriLife and Dean of the Texas A&M University College of Agricultural and Life Sciences. And Dr. Bruce Akey, Director of the Texas A&M Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory. Join me in greeting them. It's now my privilege to invite forward Chancellor Sharp.
Howdy. I asked Dr. Raspberry what he wanted me to talk about, and he said, I want you to talk about 3 minutes. And so I get that. And then the man is an ordained Methodist minister. He's never given a 3-minute sermon in his life. I speak on behalf of myself and the Board of Regents about how proud we are of what has happened on this street in the last 8 or 9 years. This is absolutely amazing, not just the sports facilities, but what has been produced here is the best agriculture facilities outside of College Station that exist in this state. And you're all to be congratulated. The private sector money, these legislators who over the last 10 years when we conceived the idea of doing this in the vet school category and TVMDL and the ag research have really done some amazing things. What we're doing here today is commemorating and ribbon cutting a part of that, and that is the Texas Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Lab with the research component that goes with that. It is the place that the Center for Disease Control looks at when they want to check diseases that might come to us, because 80% of the diseases we get come from animals, not necessarily humans. And so adding to that, the crown of all of this is the VERO program. And even before the VERO program, in the last 3 years, the number of students at the Texas A&M College of Veterinary Medicine and Biological Sciences has doubled. No university in the state outside of A&M produces more vet students than WT, and they're to be congratulated for that as well. But now it goes to the next level, and that is a unique, one-of-a-kind collaboration, a 2+2 program that is going to make West Texas A&M the place for aspiring young veterinarians to go in the state of Texas, and then become a part of the #4 College of Veterinary Medicine in the United States of America. For the first time, young men and women are going to be able to come here. They'll be able to go into vet school. We have invested about $95 million in this facility, about $5 million in some of the best faculty that money can buy. That didn't sound right. Best faculty or any place else, quite frankly, is going to be able to come here, take 2 years of vet school, finish the rest of it in College Station, and then hopefully come back to the Panhandle. We need to all realize, and I know people in this room do, that 25% of the beef produced and consumed in the United States of America is produced within a 2-hour drive, even if you're driving the speed limit from where we are right here. This is an amazing thing, and we are naming it, this complex, after an amazing person. The most well-known veterinarian in the state of Texas, maybe the country, Charlie Doc Graham. I have asked him when he speaks tonight to remind himself that there are women and children present. Those of you that know Doc know that that's a very important thing to remember in some of his conversations. There are certain stories that he should not be telling here today, but we can think of no more prominent veterinarian that we can honor than Charlie Graham. And on behalf of the Board of Regents, I also want to thank these legislators that are behind us, that have stuck with us, that over the last 10 years provided the fuel to make this dream work, along with the private investors here. Congratulations on the best ag veterinarian facility that exists outside of College Station, Texas, anywhere in the country. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Chancellor Sharp. We have appreciated the opportunity to be involved in this team, and it is a team, a remarkable team. Chancellor Sharp and the Texas A&M University System Board of Regents, the Paul Engler College of Agricultural and Natural Sciences, the VERO and TVMDL facilities would be a wisp of imagination without the persistent commitment, leadership, and vision demonstrated by Chancellor Sharp and the Board of Regents. This building, the one next door, the ag facilities, even the football stadium, all the result of the leadership of the system and Chancellor Sharp. Even the road out front and the way we've been able to modify it and make a campus street out of it comes from the disposition of that road from TxDOT property to local property, to the city of Canyon, that we have a very fine working relationship with, and it is knitting all of these things together of multiple purposes into a unified front to help build the economy in this part of Texas. The Chancellor mentioned 25% of the beef within a 2-hour drive. That's right. There's not a concentration of beef production anywhere in the nation that's as dense as it is right here within a couple of hours of Canyon, Texas. So the situation, the circumstance, the setting of all this is absolutely essential, and it's all about geography. We're here, we're working every day to help serve the state of Texas through the beef industry. We have some excellent partners, too. I have to say that we've had these partners all along, but I've mentioned Texas A&M University, Presidents Michael Young, now Kathy Banks, 2 days into the job. They support this work. Deans Eleanor Green and Dean Hawkins, Dr. Green of the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, Dean Hawkins, the Paul Engler College of Agricultural Sciences, here on the campus. Dr. John August, current Dean of Vet Medicine, Dr. Kevin Pond, current Dean of Agriculture. This is a team. It's a team, and it's so important. Vice Chancellor Patrick Stover, TVMDL Director Bruce Akey have tirelessly championed this work. They're making it happen as we continue, and it's all about service to this region and the beef industry that sustains a good portion of the state of Texas, and most importantly, this region of Texas, the Panhandle. We're Panhandle proud here. We love this place, we love the institution, and we're thankful for it. Our region is excited and tickled to be part of the Texas A&M University system. All of this is ideas, though. Without the leadership of facilities and planning and construction under Philip Ray's sure-handed leadership, these are just ideas. They turn into three-dimensional space when facilities planning and construction, FP&C, gets hold of these things and makes space out of ideas. Very important. Additionally, and especially, I would like to thank the Stan and Gary Sigmund Foundation, whose very generous gift to WT supported the naming of the Texas A&M University System Center to honor Doc Graham. The commitment of Stan and Gary to WT is remarkable. It's exemplary. It's been a long time, and he has been a great friend of WT. Doc Graham, yes, that's appropriate. Doc Graham has been a great friend and continues to be a great friend to Texas A&M University and the system, and thankfully to WT. As a matter of fact, if anyone has any complaints about my service to West Texas A&M or the Texas A&M University system, Charles Graham and Bill Mahomes, our regent, were on the search committee that hired them. They'll be outside later. You can take a number. Get in line. This is the best job I've ever had, working for the best leaders I've ever worked for in the best place I've ever lived. And that's not faint praise. It's not talking points. It's the truth. The Panhandle is a great place to be, and Canyon is a great place to be. We're thankful for it. We appreciate the partnership. Thanks so much for being here to celebrate with us today. And now Doc Graham is going to say a few family-friendly words.
Well, I didn't know where the hell to start, to tell you the truth. I come off a cotton and corn farm in 1949, and I built a business. And when I was started in the grammar grades, because a classmate, Aline Titsworth's brother, was a veterinarian over at Cameron, Texas. And my mother was the principal of the 8th grade on down, and behavior wasn't in the books. In my days, my mother's covered all that up. Teachers wouldn't discipline, I guess you'd say. And Dr. Titsworth would come by and pick me up and take me out there and help treat milk fevers and all kinds that farm animals have. And one day, this lady asked him, said, "Can you deodorize skunks?" And Dr. Titsworth said, "Yes." "And where's the skunk?" "Well, it's in this box." And said, "Charlie, you can deal with that skunk, can't you?" And I said, "Oh, yes, sir." Now, how in the heck would a boy in the 5th grade could figure out where the skunk smell is coming from? I don't know, but I finally got it all over me and figured that out. It comes right up underneath his tail. And I got him we put that skunk together underneath her and deodorized him. And I built me a business out of deodorizing skunks all the way through college. And there's good, but I had money in my pocket. And another thing that I did that you can get, smell all over you, for some unknown reason, I got in the boar hog business too. And I got me a boar hog pig from Mr. Epperson up at Leto after my 8th grade. And he wanted me to castrate him. No, I'm going to be the champion at Data State Fair that was. And I brought him back to that farm and bred all them farmers, hogs, and traded for this and traded that. And so it got so bad, I stunk so bad, Mother made me ride in the back end of that 38 Ford. I made me a cotton sack sleep on back there. And I sold those skunks and stuff like that. And of course, naturally, I stunk off. They said I did. I said I didn't. But I was the only body who had any money in my pocket too, and so I took the money and let it stink by somebody else. So at any rate, I messed around there and got me a date with old Clayton Marie Gunn, and she's supposed to be and I had enough money to buy me a brand new 3/4-ton truck from Grayson Motor Company in 1947, and I had money. And that didn't count, and I had skunk smell on me, and I had boar hog smell on me, and I'm telling you, you ain't gonna get no love in there with that kind of deal. You can throw that out. So I chose, rather than get the boar hog smell and the skunk smell off of me, just to be a business person. Thank God I did. So at any rate, I wasn't, and I always had all the room on the back to schoolrooms, and I got accused of everything in the world, of course, and made fun of me in the hall and everything. And then a pretty good basketball player, in fact, All-State 4 times. And that old boy tried to guard me, and he said, "Turn around, why don't you take a bath?" And when he did, I'd pinch him in his ribs right here, and he'd fall down, and I'd score points. So it's been kind of an interesting life, and I ended up going to A&M, and so at any rate, I had a wonderful trip there, and I hitchhiked and walked and everything. She gave me $10 and wouldn't let me use my $15,000 I had in my bank account because somebody might steal it or something like that. And she gave me $10 and they're going to play basketball, and so she's going to give a scholarship. We're going to feed you and everything. But Ike Dahlberg had a policeman looking for me. He took me over to Horse Center and said, "Here's where you're going to live right here." And it had a bathroom, a little sink, and it had a little commode, and it had a little mirror, and a concrete floor just right there. And he says, "Here's where you're going to live." Okay, that's fine. And so I didn't want to break my $10. So Cullen Robson there and Brian, he found out I could rope, and he worked down at Sail Bar, and he picked me up, and I made enough money in about 3 weeks to buy me just a steel bed, just steel one bed, little bed there. And I got me cardboard and put it on there to sleep on. Then I finally got enough money to buy me a bed, and then finally wintertime came on, and I got me a door, put it up there. So these students today, they don't get no sense from me about it. About modernism or any other ism or whatever you want to call it, because I know what the hell to do when I go and learn Boy Scout deeds, you know. And so, at any rate, it was a very, very interesting trip throughout my career down there. And I still want to be a veterinarian, and so they wouldn't let me take my organic chemistry. Now, how dumb I was, I didn't know cancer and dumb, but at any rate, I fell for that trap. And finally, when I was a junior, I figured out that I'm working for that basketball coach, and I want to be a veterinarian. And so I graduated, and doggone, the 14 of us boys got drafted within 2 weeks after we all sent to El Paso. And so then I continued, after got there, I continued my skunk deal. And so I had plenty of room where to sleep, I'll promise you that, to sleep. But I had money in my pocket, so I was running me a little loan deal there, you know, and finally got out of there and went back to A&M, got my degree, and I'd learned so much doggone veterinary medicine. It's one I hadn't got kicked out of there because I don't know what you call it, illegal practicing or quacking. Just whatever adverb or adjective you put on it. I continued to do so, and I thought I'd probably get kicked out just any day. And finally, Dr. Cooley diagnosed me there at my freshman year, and he said, "Come here, boy, I've got a lot of work to do." And I'd go with him every evening after 5 o'clock. Sometimes I wouldn't get back 10, 11 o'clock. And I really had an opportunity to know what I was doing. And I continued to do that and stayed deathly scared of Dean Price. And the 5 days before we graduated from A&M, Dr. Cooley called us all together, 49 of us, and had this pink slip in it and said, "I hate to tell you, Charlie, but Dean Price wants to talk to you immediately." Well, I turned whiter than that WT right yonder, because I got 5 days to go before I get my diploma. And so I go over there, and Miss Shane gives us a soda water apiece, and went in there, and he said, "You know, we've been watching you since the freshman year." That kind of scared the hell out of you too, you know. So, yes, sir. And said, "How'd you learn to practice veterinary medicine so well?" And I said, "Well, I started deodorizing skunks and bullhogs and every other doggone thing has smell on me, sir. I just continued to do that." He said, "Well, you realize that you was taking more money in and doing more veterinary work than the other 4 clinicians over at that floor." And I said, "Well, I knew it damn well I was doing it, but I didn't tell him I was doing it." You know, I said, "Well, sir, I didn't know I was doing that. You know, I just don't know, you know. I thought that was part of the class work." And he said, "I don't know how many times you got these pink slips come over, and I just throwed them in the basket." And so we went through that act, he praised me, and he said, I know you're going to be financially successful, and I'm going to ask you one thing. And I said, I want you to give back to Texas A&M University School of Veterinary Medicine. And ladies and gentlemen, I was so scared he could have told me to do anything. And I shook his hand and thanked him, hugged him, and every other thing. And I've done that pretty much, you know. And so at any rate, I had an interesting trip and got out, and whatever happened to me, I had a little more money when I left there. I promise you all that. But at any rate, I had an interesting political career, and a bunch of other political career is here today, and being involved with those political careers and everything, that's not a free lunch. For anybody that's graduating or anything, they'll tell you all this and tell you all that, but partner, write them a check. And then they'll listen to you real well, you follow me? And the larger that check is, the longer they're going to talk to you. Here's one right over here on the corner, about for that, right yonder. Right there. But he is absolutely incredible, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best friends I'll ever have in life, and he just do anything work for me. And I could quote things that he's done for me throughout his life, and I just worship that relationship. And I would not ever think about being nothing but honesty and integrity and professionalism with him. And that's damn near got me in tears here right now. But John, I love you, boy. At any rate, I've gone through him, and there's another boy that I got to know real well, was Philip Ray. But anyway, he's been a special friend throughout my career. And another man that is unreal, friend of mine that I dearly loved, he and his wife, Stan Sigma and Jerry and Spicer. Unfortunately, he passed away. And he was absolutely incredible friend through horse racing and horses and stuff like that. And I still hadn't got over it. But all of this here wouldn't be here today, I'm sure, if it hadn't been for Stan Sigma and some other people that was very influential financially. Then we had a so-called equine program at A&M, and I decided I'd call Dr. Blodgett, and we'd go to Colorado and somehow or another get Dr. Hurd to come. And so at any rate, he comes and starts putting the program, and we got a committee of about 33 people, and a very, very elite committee. And to build an equine complex there. And so we needed some acreage. And so at any rate, I called John, and I believe it was 405 acres, because it's an old area, and I did all that dairy work out there on there when I was going through vet school. And doctor take me out there, and I did it, and I enjoyed it. And so at any rate, he said, how many acres is there? I think 405. He said, just take it all. Can you imagine just taking it all? And so at any rate, we go through that, and he does that and builds the equine complex of the best in the United States. And as a result, I did get that road up there named after him, which is a hell of a honor, and thank y'all, Dr. Hurd, for doing that. There's others that that's had a lot of influence out here that's a very, very special friend. And he's not here today, but it's Johnny Trotter and Jan Trotter. And they're very, very special friends. And of course, I'm in the racehorse business and the equine breeding business and cattle feeding business and ranching business and sale barn business and Heritage Place in Oklahoma City. And Jeff and Spencer here today from that organization somewhere back over here. And I don't know if Johnny Trotter's ever showed up or not, if y'all ever seen him. But there he is right there. He's an extremely very special friend, and he's done lots and lots for this college out here, and I'm aware of it. And ladies and gentlemen, you just can't imagine what Stan Sigma and Jerry Sigma and Johnny Trotter and Janice Trotter and a couple of others there, they both passed away, and then Tito Flores and John Andrini and it's done for Rio Dosa. It's down to now Johnny Trotter and Cheeto Flores. Unfortunately, we lost those fine people, and it's unreal. But you can't imagine what those two people now have done, Johnny and Janet Trotter, is bought Red Downs and Cheeto. And that was absolutely a monstrosity of a situation for the equine racing industry in the state of Texas and the United States and foreign countries. Because unless you win a race at Rio Downs, one of the three major races out there, just like the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness and the Belmont, you have not succeeded in the racehorse business, breeding business, or anything else. And I can't help but just tip my hat to you, Johnny and Jana, for what all you've done for the equine industry of the state of Texas. It is huge, it's monstrosity. And I'd like to give those folks a clap of hands for what they've done. You would never know that those two individuals have done so much for Rio Dosa. It's absolutely astronomical what they've done. And I am very proud of that relationship. There's no question about it. And I got a cowboy that's a real special, and a friend here that also, and I'd like to introduce him here, but they're the two individuals at Heritage Place, Spence and Jeff. Whereabouts are y'all? Here they are, way back here in the back. They're the managers of Heritage Place for me, and they're incredible, big time. And I can't thank everybody for the honor and the privilege to here today, and it's my honor that I do this. And I can't, Dean Price, I've done what you said, give back, and I've given back, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know what else to do. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to retire. I promise you that I'm not. And I'm just not going to do it. And I'm scared to death of failure. And so I'm not ever going to quit. So I'll be around till y'all put me in a casket. Thank y'all very much.
So howdy. I'm John August. I'm Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. And before I get started, I need to find out where Misty is, because I want to see her in my office tomorrow afternoon for scheduling me to speak behind Dr. Graham. It's a tough act to follow. There are some colleagues in leadership positions in the audience I want to recognize, and I do want to recognize again Dr. Mark Weicholt, Interim Provost and Executive Vice President of Texas A&M University. He has been incredibly supportive of our college and of this project. Thank you, Mark, so much. Also like to recognize Dr. Stephen Gola, who is President of the Texas Veterinary Medical Association. And we have Mr. Chris Copeland, who serves as the Executive Director of the TVMA. And we are particularly honored to have Dr. Douglas Kratt, President of the American Veterinary Medical Association, in attendance today. So my thanks to each of you for joining us for this wonderful celebration. Today is all about academic excellence. It's about finding synergism in a very unique partnership between two Texas A&M University System universities. It's about attracting a cohort of veterinary medical students to this beautiful facility who are highly motivated towards careers supporting the food animal industries, highly qualified students who intentionally chose to study in Canyon for their first 2 years rather than in College Station. It's about providing a learning environment in which there is a very low instructor-student ratio, providing our students with a highly individualized educational experience. It's about recruiting an outstanding group of faculty members for our 2+2 program, who are attracted to this program specifically because they have a strong interest in creative teaching. It's about developing a core of world-class researchers and clinical experts who work hand in hand with leadership in the food animal industries in the region to address their most pressing needs. And it's about reaching out in the Panhandle to motivate school children to work hard towards their dreams of careers in veterinary medicine. Yes, it's all about academic excellence. Our college's commitment to educational opportunities for the young people of our state extends from the Panhandle to the Rio Grande Valley. On May 12th, the first 3 students to receive their degrees from our undergraduate biomedical sciences program at the Higher Education Center in McAllen walked the stage in Reed Arena in College Station. And we look forward to celebrating the graduation of our first cohort of 2+2 DVM students from VERO in May 2025. Let me finish up by saying just a few sincere thank yous. To Dr. Chancellor Sharp for your vision and for your financial support by the Texas A&M University system of this very unique partnership and of this beautiful building. Dr. Charles Graham for your abiding support of our college's programs and their promotion throughout the state and nation. Dr. Eleanor Green, my predecessor as Dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, for your deep commitment to this very unique academic program. President Walter Wendler, for your very strong advocacy of this collaboration and for your friendship. The Vaughan Construction Company, who built this outstanding VERO facility. The VERO Advisory Council for sharing in our enthusiasm for this initiative and for providing valuable feedback to bring us to this very day. The VERO Working Group of faculty, staff, and administrators, I see many of them here at the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, who have worked tirelessly to coordinate the faculty hiring process and curriculum implementation in Canyon. Many of them are here today. Thank you for making the trip. The new VERO faculty members who have accepted our invitations to join this exciting academic initiative, some of whom will have joint appointments with the Texas A&M Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory right next door. And lastly, Dr. Susan Eads, who accepted my invitation to become Associate Dean for Administration, Canyon Campus, and to be our leader on the ground at the VERO program. It really is a privilege to represent our college at today's dedication, and I look forward with great optimism to meeting our goals of academic excellence in this very outstanding facility. Thank you.
Well, howdy. It's a pleasure to be with you today on such a beautiful day here in the Panhandle. And I'd like to just say a few words on behalf of AgriLife. So as the largest comprehensive agriculture program nationally, Texas A&M AgriLife responds to the evolving needs of Texas to improve their lives daily through agriculture and life sciences. And a shining example of this excellence is excellence in service, and it can be seen from one of our 4 state agencies today, the Texas A&M Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory. Since TVMDL's inception, the agency has made major discoveries from the world's first isolation of canine parvovirus to the discovery of poisonous aflatoxin in dog food to the lab's now routine diagnosis of anthrax. Over the years, TVMDL remains steadfast in its mission to protect animal health. Now, we know now there is no doubt that we live in a global society. Outbreaks, as we've seen with COVID-19, show the ease with which diseases can move across the world. Factor in the countless daily threats that have the potential to wreak havoc on livestock and companion animals. It is more important than ever to be vigilant when it comes to animal health. This is precisely why we constructed a new laboratory for TVMDL here in Canyon, to provide disease surveillance and protection for our livestock and human populations in Texas and, of course, across the globe. Each day, this agency tests thousands of samples
many of which have a direct impact on Texas agriculture's $25 billion contribution to the U.S. economy. So by enhancing TVMDL's presence in the Texas Panhandle, we can rest assured that TVMDL will continue to serve as the backbone of animal disease surveillance systems that protect our state, our nation, and the world. And Doc Graham, it's a real honor for us to have our name and your excellence associated with these diagnostic labs, which are the finest in the world. So thank you.
Thank you.
Howdy. My name is Bruce Akey, and I have the distinct honor of being the director of Texas A&M Veterinary Medical Diagnostic Laboratory. And I have two good news items for you. First, I'm the last speaker. Second, given what else has been said, I'm not going to talk about all those things. I'm up here mostly to say thank you to folks, and I want to thank some very specific folks up here, so please just bear with me for a minute. Starting with the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor for AgriLife, and the system offices. This would not have happened without the creativity and the support and the backing that these folks have. And one of the things that attracted me to Texas to come to this position 7 years ago was this chancellor and this group of folks up here on the stage. They're not afraid of big ideas, and they're not afraid of thinking forward and into the future. So thank you for all the support that you all provided for us to get this project done. Second of all, Perkins & Will Architects. I know Jason's here today. Jason and the rest of the folks, Alex, Peter, all the good folks that work for you all. You know, folks, when you design a laboratory like ours, it's not like building a McDonald's. You know, we're biosafety level 2 and biosafety level 3 containment, and if you think that's easy to do and pull it off, I'm here to tell you it's not. And it starts with the design. And I've done 6 of these laboratories. This may be the last one, we'll see. And I'll tell you, I've never worked with a finer bunch of design architects who actually knew what they were doing at the very outset with these kinds of complicated facilities. Well, you start with the design, but then somebody's got to actually make that thing turn into a 3-dimensional space, as was mentioned before. So Vaughn Construction, Bill, you've got an incredible team here. Weston and Carlos and Jared and Rodney, I cannot say enough for what these guys have done for us on both of the projects that I've been associated with and continue to do for us. Even though we've been in the building for, 6 months or so, if we've got a problem and we call one of these good folks up, we get a solution. So cannot thank you guys enough. You've done a fantastic job for us. Project Control, these are the folks that represented the system to oversee the day-to-day operations, Gary and Steve. Fantastic partners in paying attention to the details and the budgets and making sure that things stayed on track for us. And on my staff, some special mentions, Mr. Jordan Brode. Jordan, stand up a second. These folks need to see you. This is our facilities and operations guy, and I will tell you, it's not just me. If you ask any of these folks with Vaughn Construction and the architects too, this is the guy for us that makes sure that things are getting done and getting done right before, during, and after construction. So thank you, Jordan. Fantastic job that you did. And then the staff at TVMDL that works up here. You know, building this thing is one thing, getting it up into operation and providing the services that we provide for our clients. We know that our clients rely on us every day of the week to get stuff done for them. So one of the goals that we had in getting this thing done and then moving into it was to not have a break in services to those clients. And we did that. These folks executed the move of all the equipment, all of the certifications, got everything up and running, and I dare say there was not a single day that we were not able to continue to provide the operations for those folks. So thank you to all of you guys for the amazing job that you do and continue to do. And finally, Dr. Graham. Doc, I don't know what to say. First time I ever met you, I went out to your stallion breeding station, and you and I sat down across from each other, eye to eye, and it was one of the most forthright, as you can imagine, conversations that I've ever had, and it was clear that Doc had a vision for TVMDL and what it should be doing, and that as long as I stuck to that, we were going to be all right. So. Thank you, Doc. It's been great, and we're so honored to have you involved in this. We're proud to know you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And with that, before the big hook comes out from the side over there and pulls me off, I will say thank you very much, folks, and enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm going to ask the stage party if they would make their way down the podium to your left, the same way you came in. Misty is going to meet you there and take you outside for the ceremonial ribbon cutting. So if you'll go ahead and make your way. Come on, Doc, I'll help. You help me. While our stage party takes their places outside for the ceremonial ribbon cutting, allow me to thank you again for joining us today to be part of making history. You may not realize it's taken us 18 months and 4 postponements to get to this day, but we finally got here. The financial and human capital investments reflected in the partnership will have an indelible impact on the Panhandle region. The lives of generations of students who pass through VERO and the thousands of animal owners and veterinarians who will benefit from cutting-edge diagnostic testing at TVMDL. We are grateful for the many ways that you support the institutions represented here today. You're going to be invited in just a moment to be dismissed, and you're invited, if you picked one of these up, to go on self-guided tours of both this facility and the facility next door. So there will be people there to guide you or answer questions if you have them, but when we dismiss, you're really on your own to self-guide and to visit. So this concludes the formal portion of our program today. Please do take time to visit both facilities. They are quite remarkable. And again, thank you so much for being here today and for your patience this afternoon.